Hello, 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 and good morning, everyone. I am flying solo as far as a host goes. It is Winning Women's Wednesday, but I have an exciting guest. I have Christi Beca here with me today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's just me and you today.
I love it.
It's
Let's
going to
do
be,
this.
yeah, we're going to have a blast.
I'm ready. I am so ready.
So, okay, we met for the first time at a Real Producers event a couple days ago.
Yes.
And then Rick was like, I've got to have her on the show. I've got to have her on the show. And now here you are, and I'm so excited.
I mean, isn't it like life moves so fast sometimes,
It
right?
does.
I know. I was like, I love y'all. He's like, you've got to be on the show. And I'm like, okay, don't threaten me with a good time.
Right,
like,
right.
Let's
and
go.
We already have things in common. We have children
Yes.
that are similar ages.
Yes.
Which is so fun. So you have a 17-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is she driving?
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of.
Well,
yes.
that's more than mine. I had to haul mine to the senior sunrise at 6:20 this morning because I don't think she's ever going to drive. She talks about it.
I think it's a different time these days. I think between Uber and like, I remember when I was 16, I was like, where's my license? Get me the hell out of here.
Amen.
I'm like, let's drive. I want to be as far away from my house and my parents as possible.
Right.
And I mean,
They don't go.
Yeah.
They don't go. And she has very clearly told me what type of vehicle she would like, that I guess she just wants me to chauffeur her around in because she's made no steps towards the driver's license.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So my daughter does have her driver's license, but she was one of the younger ones to get her driver's license.
Okay.
So yes, so she's that privileged of all of her friends. She, bums rides.
Yes.
And they oblige, they pick her up and all the things. She's like, well, I have it pretty good.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, actually you probably pretty do, but
yeah. No, but between Apple Pay and the chauffeur system we have going, my daughter might not ever leave.
Oh, I know. And I mean, especially, why would you? You can have food delivered to your house now with like DoorDash. You can have anything you want from Amazon. You have friends pick you up. It's like crazy.
It's unreal. And then you have a son.
I do. I have a son. He's 21, just turned 21 this summer.
Same.
So that was fun. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So where's your son?
At Baylor. Yes.
Nice.
He's a senior at Baylor. I'm like, where has the time gone?
And your money. It's
Yes. Would anyone like to buy a house or sell a house?
Yes.
I'm here for you.
Yes.
Actually, we'll work for Baylor.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We'll work for tuition.
Yeah. Mine's in Seattle, and we will work for tuition for sure.
I mean, yes, the struggle is real. I cannot believe how expensive college is.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. And then he wants to go beyond. He's pre-med. So
that's my youngest. Like I'm seeing seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and then she springs pre-med on me. I'm like, 12 years of college. That's a great idea.
I know. I'm like, can we fast forward to when you're actually going to be making money? Because I don't know where that light is, but it's going to be a while.
That's why my son's my favorite. He never asks for money. And I don't think he's ever going to make any money, but he's never going to ask me for any. So it's all good. All good.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's a trooper. He's doing that thing at Baylor, and
love it.
Couldn't be more proud of both of them.
So let's talk about you.
Yeah.
Christi Beca Realty.
Yes.
Tell me. Okay. So how long have you been a realtor?
So I've been a realtor about 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. And how did you get started?
Oh my gosh. So it's kind of like a combination. It's funny because I came from a family of real estate background.
Really?
So, So I'm third generation real estate.
Usually those people run from it.
Oh, no, I did.
Okay.
I totally, absolutely.
Okay. But it's in your blood, right?
It's in my blood.
Yeah.
I was that person. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be a realtor. Like, I hate realtors. I never want to be a realtor. And I've now since changed my tune. I love what I do. But I was that, late bloomer later in life, getting my, jumping into real estate. But my dad was a big developer.
Oh, wow.
And,
that's cool.
In Oklahoma.
Okay.
And so... and have family, and the commercial space and residential and whatnot. So, we third generation real estate. And but how I got into it was kind of that second act in life when I came out of, I've done the corporate world thing, and that's what I did when I graduated out of college. And
where did you go to college?
So I went to OU. I went to OU. Boomer.
Yeah. So my oldest daughter is an OU graduate.
Really? Oh my gosh. See, we have so much in common, people. Like, this is amazing.
It's so fun. It is a source of contention, though, because she could have gone to UT.
Oh, I know.
And I'm
I
like,
know.
really? Never mind the tuition is so much more if you're out of state. But
exactly.
But Matthew McConaughey, you didn't want to go to school with him? Because I would have attended that class.
See, absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, can I be there? Absolutely. I would have gone to school just for that.
But so she was an OU girl. So
I love that. Oh my God. Okay, now I have to ask the sorority thing. Was she in a sorority?
No. She was a theater student.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So
she was smart.
Yeah.
She was smart.
Well, I don't know, but yeah. She's working in New York, living her best life, so it's all good.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Oh my gosh.
She is a costume designer.
Oh, see that? Okay.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, she loves it.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Yeah. So my daughter wants to go to OU. So, and I told her, I was like, listen, there are plenty of other schools, because that's where I went, obviously. And so I was like, listen,
it was a great school.
There are plenty. Yeah, it's a wonderful school. I was like, listen, there are plenty of other, great schools you can go to. She's like, no, because I didn't want her to think that she, because I talk about OU and I'm like, it's such a great school. I don't want her to go to feel obligated.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, but, actually a lot of people, since I live in Flower Mound, a lot of people, I guess a lot of kids from Texas, they either go to Arkansas or OU or UT or some sort
alumni
of Texas school.
Here, and an incredibly large alumni in New York City, which was interesting. I guess they all wanted to get out of Oklahoma, so they went as far opposite as they could.
Which is what I was like, get me away from my parents. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. So, so I went to OU and then, got out of Oklahoma as fast as I could. And came to Dallas and did the whole corporate world thing.
Okay. What did you do?
For many years. So actually my first big girl job career was I was in wine sales.
Oh, fun.
So how fun is that? Fun. Can I just tell you how fun that is?
I can imagine when you're young.
And
no responsibilities.
No responsibilities. You graduate and everyone's already going out to the restaurants and bars anyway.
So there you are and you're getting paid.
I'm already getting paid for it. I was adulting is the best. This is the best job ever. Like I get paid to drink, which sounds terrible, but no, it was a wonderful career. I loved it.
Yeah.
And it was really, really fun. I did it. Didn't really pay quite well, that's why it came with a lot of some of those good perks, but did not pay very well. And then so I did and worked my way up the corporate ladder, doing that for many years, and then became a stay-at-home mom when I started having kids.
Awesome.
So. And did the stay-at-home route for many years, and then. Found myself how I got into real estate, found myself going through a divorce.
Okay.
And, after 10, 12 years of marriage, and wasn't really necessarily by choice, but, kind of found myself going through this, devastation. I know we've all been there. Everyone has that season in life where you've had, that rough patch or two. And so going through a devastating divorce, and it was unplanned. And it was kind of one of those, okay, now what?
Right.
Found myself, it wasn't a great marriage, and I'm totally fine. I tell my friends, and I talk to anyone who will listen in my nonprofit, that what it looks like, all that glitters isn't gold. Like we were the quintessential perfect on paper, and the 2.2 kids and the great, the big house and the cars and the truck, the trips, all the things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't exactly what it was behind the scenes. And so, it was one of those that it was, it just, it didn't work out, and, going through that devastational divorce. And it was kind of one of those things, I can laugh about it now, that when you get married, you're supposed to stop dating.
Right.
And
someone didn't get the memo.
And someone didn't get the memo.
Okay, gotcha.
And so it was one of those, scenarios. I was like, okay, well, that's not going to work. And so I found myself, I was like, okay. And, I had to make a hard decision. And anyway, so we went through a very, ugly and devastating divorce, bad divorce. And then it really found me, I was in a situation with now a single mom, and of 2 kids, and the kids were much younger than, I think, 3 and 6 at the time. So really young. So this was a while, babies, a while back. And I found myself, no money and homeless and broke, and had to start my life completely over. Had to move in with my parents, which I don't recommend it, but they were gracious enough to take us in because we had nowhere to go.
That's awesome.
And it was fantastic. And I was still, eternally grateful for my parents for that, and always will be. And so I had to wind up moving in with my parents. And, I'm so, like I said, I'm so thankful for their help. But having to start my life completely over, I had to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? Like, what is the next career path? How am I going to feed my kids? How am I going to take care of my kids? What am I going to do? And all the things. And so, I've always kind of in the back of my mind had that just love for real estate.
You just can't help it.
You can't. It's just, if it's in you, it's in you. It's third generation real estate. And, and I think I was just fighting it for so many years. I was like, I'm never going to be in real estate. And I was like, you know what, let's just give this a shot. Why not? Might as well.
Yeah.
And turned out I was pretty good at it.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Surprise.
And so, surprise. And just kind of picked myself up and, like they say, put on your big girl panties and you just, you go for it. And to me at that point, I had nothing else to lose.
Right.
And I knew that failure wasn't an option. And so I went to work and grind every day.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it's nice to hit rock bottom because you don't have anywhere else to go. And it's like, okay, here I am.
1,000%.
Yeah, I can't really fail much more. So let me just.
Yeah, I wasn't doing much.
Let me do the thing.
I was like, I have nothing else to lose. I'm already living with my parents, and I'm already broke. So I have nothing else to gain from this except nowhere to go but up. So I knew I had the grit, I knew I had the perseverance, and I knew I had the want and the will to do it. And it was the will of my kids and my why that like drove that bus. And I got my real estate license and just never looked back, and worked 14 hours, 60, still work probably 14 hours.
Absolutely.
Really still work 14, 60. Yeah, that never ends.
What was the hardest part about getting started? Like from a tactical perspective?
Oh gosh. Logistics.
Okay.
I mean, being a single mom, really honestly.
Ages 3 and 6. They sure weren't driving then.
No. There was no driving then. There was no really, much help and stuff except, my parents were great, and they,
but they would have been young then too. They still had their lives.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Sure. So they helped where they could with babysitting, but it was logistics. It was, trying to get kids to school, trying to do this, trying to do real estate, trying to do, get them to and from their activities and all the things.
Right. I can show you between baseball practice and
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
And I will say, one thing I love about real estate, which is great, is not only is it a relationship business, but it's a family business. People, they were so, if my clients weren't okay with, bringing my kids or occasionally having to do this or do that, they're not my clients.
They probably weren't the right clients.
They weren't the right clients. And
absolutely.
So, rarely did I ever have anybody, have an issue with that. And they were like, absolutely, like, bring them along, do what you need to do. And so I never really had an issue with that. So that was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. When I first got my start, I was an independent realtor, but I worked with new construction quite a bit. And there was one particular builder that I seemed to gravitate to. And I remember on a Saturday, I was showing houses, and there was this one client that we were trying to contract, and she was taking a while. I had the kids in the car with me. He set them up in the theater room of the model. I was like, okay, just do what you got to do. It was so great. So great. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. It was the best.
I know. Thank you to all my clients that have been with me for many years, that you guys have so been blessed and wonderful to me.
And now it's like my kids are grown. He's got grandkids.
Isn't that crazy?
That's what makes the business fun, is seeing that evolution in your clients. It's great.
And it's now, that 10 years in it, it's, now, friends have circled back around, and now you've helped them, with their second house or their third house, or, now you're helping, now their kids need a house, now that
does make me feel old. I appreciate the phone call, but man, you have to say so-and-so is my dad and he told me to call you. Just don't tell me that part.
I know.
Just I got your number.
Especially when you met them 10 years ago and then they were just like teenagers. Now they're like 25 and graduated high school, and now they're like, married and want their first home, and you're like, what?
I know, it's crazy.
Were like this big. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now you also run an incredible nonprofit.
I do.
Let's hear about that.
So in conjunction, with real estate, in going through kind of my devastational situation that I went through, it was one of those things that I will never forget. It was, as I was at my lowest of my lows and trying to ramp up, and just start real estate and start from the ground up and do all these things, it was one of those, internal things inside me that I was like, you know what, if, and I prayed to God, I was on my knees and I was like, God, if you ever help me get me out of this situation, I promise I'll forever pay it forward. I will forever pay it forward. And I said, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what you want from me. I'm like, I'm a hot mess right now. My life is into pieces.
Love that commitment though.
Yeah,
that faith. Yeah,
absolutely. And it was one of those things that, of course, now looking back 10 years later, that I'm like, my life wasn't falling into pieces. It was really falling into place.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you had this all along. I was like, thank you, God, you got this, as always. But yeah, it was in conjunction, parallel with my real estate business. I started a nonprofit. So of empowering women and empowering women business owners. And it didn't start off. I started. It's called Flower Mound Women in Business.
Okay.
And we are now officially a 501c3, but we didn't start as a 501c3. We started back in 2015 in parallel with my real estate business. That I was like, okay. In our area, there wasn't really a lot of, I felt like, because I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. I felt like I was, wanting some, women supporting women or women in business, something to where, networking. Let's just get together as I was trying to build my business.
But not the cringy networking.
Not the cringy network. Yeah.
No,
just
I totally know what you mean.
Real, organic. How can we help people? How can we, what are your needs? And it wasn't like, oh, you're exclusive. If you have one person in a group, you can't be, if you're in insurance, you can't have another insurance person in there, and all those things, those groups are fine, but that's just not what I wanted.
Right.
It just wasn't for me. And so I couldn't find it. So what do entrepreneurs do if they can't find something? They create it. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So so I created it in 2015, and it started, like I said, as a networking group, and then it grew. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we meet twice a month.
Love it.
And for we do actually do once a month cocktail talks, but we do in the mornings. We have the first and third Thursdays of every month.
Okay.
We do this thing called coffee talks, and so
love that.
So we get together and we meet for about an hour and a half. Twice a month. And we just, everybody networks, and you talk about your needs, and you talk about, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's in everyone in any, entrepreneurial space. We've got doctors, lawyers, insurance. We have other real estate agents in there.
Sure.
We have, bakers, restaurateurs, you name it. We have just a plethora of, women-owned businesses, just coming together to help and inspire each other. And,
love that.
It's been my greatest passion. I absolutely love it. I feel like it feeds more, it feeds,
Always.
I
absolutely.
get more out of it than, I'm glad to hear that, a lot of women, get something out of it, and it's great. And it's a really, positive, thing for people to come and do. And it's just, we get feedback if it's the highlight of their week, and they love it and they feel inspired. And we just try to really empower each other and connect women. Our tagline is empower women, connect women business owners, and impact our community. So, but yeah, we it's been going now for 10 years, and we're now over like 8,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
In our group. And it's
fantastic.
It's insane. And we've been all over, ABC, NBC, CBS, and all the, we're very blessed. We've been blessed to, be featured in a lot of local and national, publications, but our main mission is really to pour into women and empower women business owners. And we do that through like workshops. We have workshops. We've got business builders. We bring in guest speakers who come in and, talk about anywhere from like taxes and building business plans and marketing and how to scale a business and all those things, all those real world things that we need. Right. But at the same time, since we are a 501c3, we also give away business advancement grants. And they're called.
That's incredible.
Yes. So it's called the BAG. We're like, grab a bag, and the BAG stands for Business Advancement Grant. And so we give grants to women, like myself years ago, which is one of the reasons why I started this, for women coming out of devastational situations. It doesn't matter if it's like divorce or death or, just, an illness or just somewhere in their life that they're coming out of a hardship.
Yeah.
That, and if they're interested in wanting to start a business. So, we give them a grant and,
oh, that's great.
We help them, we believe it's really important to give, a woman, when you reach a level of success, we feel it's important that you've got to give a hand. Yeah. You got to give back and pull a seat up, at the chair, at the table and whatnot for women. And, not only that, but just, empower them, encourage them and support them, and saying they're not alone. Like whatever you're going through is okay. And, we're here to help you and guide you. And that's what those grants do, is just kind of give them that, extra hand, not a hand out, but a hand up.
Yes.
In what they need. So.
Something I tell my girls is, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. But when you leave that room, you take someone with you.
Yes.
I think that piece is so important that we all forget.
It's so important.
Yeah. Rising tides lift all boats.
Yes.
And I think that's just so important that we help each other along.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have a story of maybe a grant that you've given that you're fondest of?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, So a woman came to us, and I don't know, can we say names or no? Or
you may not want to.
Okay. Yeah. I won't say anything. Okay. Because I don't have her permission.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Tell the story.
Yeah, exactly. So a woman came to us, and she was, in a hardship situation similar to mine. And we, she told us her needs, and it filled me. I was so honored to be able to help her. And she just reminded me so much of myself years ago.
Yeah.
That I was like, we've got you. Like, don't worry about this. And it's, it breaks my heart, because I know I was in that same scenario, and women feel like, so beat down at that moment in time.
And embarrassed.
And
they shouldn't.
Shamed and, overwhelmed. And they just are carrying the weight of the world, that 1,000-pound gorilla, on their back. And I'm like, I was there. I've been there. I know exactly how hard that is. And, and she wanted to better her life for herself and her kids. And so, we gave her a grant, and she was able to start her business. And I'm happy to say now she's flourishing and she's doing amazing. And, she's, has started her own nonprofit.
That's awesome. Can you tell us what kind of business?
And it's in the retail space.
Okay.
So
very cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah,
that's tough too.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Incredibly tough. And she is, she's just doing amazing.
I love that.
We're just, so proud of her and all the grant recipients that we've been able to help. And we have another one who has gone on to for her nonprofit is called Book Drive for Kids. And she now delivers or donates books to needy kids all around DFW. And she has worked hand in hand in partnership with a lot of the school districts. And
that's so cool.
Yeah. So it's great. And our grant helped her, start.
Yeah.
Like, she still contributes. She's like, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do what we do.
That's amazing.
So it's stories like that just, fill my heart. It's why we do what we do.
Well, and it reminds us as women that just because we are going through a challenging season doesn't mean it's over.
Yeah, right.
It's
exactly.
just God is leading us to the next thing. So take what you can from that season.
Absolutely.
And be ready when your time comes, because it's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I tell people that too. It's not, this is not your ending.
No.
It's not your ending. It's just a new beginning.
And it's never too late.
It is never too late. We have people in our group that come who are 80 years old.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
I love them. They're grandmas. There's some great grandmas, we have age range anywhere from in your 20s to, sky's the limit.
It takes all kinds.
It takes all kinds.
It does.
In all industries.
Yes.
And, all backgrounds. And, we just encourage people to show up. We say, come as you are.
Yeah.
And we'll help, we'll take it from there.
Love that. So you've accomplished so much in the last 9-10 years.
Oh,
so much.
You. You're my favorite person today. Thank you.
Hey, I love that. I don't hear that very often.
I know.
Especially in the mornings.
I was about to say, especially with kids. It's usually, we gotta go.
Yes.
Let's go.
What are you the most proud of?
Oh gosh.
That's going to be hard to answer.
That is so hard. I think the impact the impact.
Love
that money comes and goes.
Yeah.
People come and go and the things, but it's really the impact that we're making, not only in the nonprofit, but also, in the real estate space of being able to, that never gets old, being able to help people. And, whether it's finding, their dream home or, helping a single mom buy their first house, post-divorce. And, there's something empowering, with, and that's one thing that's really near and dear to my heart is, especially that single mom who can get in a house and, that they don't think it's possible, that they can't ever do it. They can't overcome. And, and it's like, no, you did it. Like you did it. And, I think the greatest, empowerment, I think, for a woman is being financially independent.
For sure.
And having that, self-confidence, especially coming when you hit rock bottom, having that.
And I don't know, and I guess I'll say this for myself, and definitely since I haven't been in your situation, it may be different, but the empowerment isn't so much for myself. It's that I've now given this to my children. Like they see what they can do now.
Yes.
And it makes me so proud that I instilled that into them.
Yes.
And now they go out into the world and it's, why would I even question if I can do this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best part. And that's true for my boy too. I mean, we've taken the steps to alleviate any doubt.
Yes.
You can do anything.
You can do anything.
It's so cool.
And it was like, I'm living proof. I can, and my daughter, that's the best. I will say, going back to, what's the one thing that makes you the most proud is, of course, I mean, my kids, when I get text messages, like my daughter sent me the other day, she's like, I'm just so proud of you.
I love
and
that.
you're like,
how much do you want?
Totally. If she only knew that, if she only knew the secret,
right? That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Clean your room. Tell me I'm pretty. You can have whatever you want. Okay.
Totally. Exactly. She's just like, and I knew like that's all the justification that I need.
Yeah.
Is like, thank you, Mom. Thank you for never giving up and for showing us the way. And I'm so proud of you. And my son saying the same thing. And so those little sweet, text messages just make it, I'm like, oh, they are watching. They do.
Love that.
They, I am hopefully making an impact. And, I'm not just mom, but they do see that.
I love that.
Oh, fills my heart.
So what character trait do you think contributed to your success?
Ooh, my grit.
Yeah.
My grit. I think when you, like we talked about earlier, when you have nowhere to go, that's a big motivator.
Absolutely.
When you have no money and you are broke.
And when you're starting a career in real estate, I don't care who you are, you have no money and you're broke. So you're doing
broke.
everything. Yeah.
You are doing everything you can. And, and it was, when I have kids and they have to eat and I have to provide for them now and figure out what I'm going to do and all the things, it's that grit. It was that perseverance that it was like, failure's not an option here. So it's like, I'm broke. And like,
let's go.
Here we are.
We're going to an open house, kids.
Yeah, exactly. Mom's working again. Yes, I am. You guys like to eat, don't you? You like to, you want to have a house, right? So I'm like, we're not living with Gigi and Grandpa forever.
No.
So we have to move on.
What was that like when you moved into your first home?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I cried. I cried like a baby. And it was one of those things. It was funny because you help all these people, when I was in real estate or kind of starting my career and I had to live with my parents for, what was it? Like 2 years, I think 3 years, something like that. And, I was helping other people move into their houses. And it was just one of those things that it just, to myself in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I'm so happy for them. But it was one day, one day I want this to be me. I want this to be me. And when that time came and it was just, when you just, first of all, you're scared as hell when you're signing all the documents
even
and you're like,
you're a realtor. Yes.
Totally. Yes. You're like, I feel you now. All the buyers and sellers, I feel you. And I think every agent needs to go through cycles of buying and selling themselves. So they get that, they're reminded how stressful it is. But it was just, signing it by myself was the most empowering thing I could have ever done. And when they gave me the keys and all the things, and I drove up to the house for the first time, and it was just like, to tears,
Oh my goodness.
It was a moment of like, I made it. I did it. like I did it, and all the naysayers, and you have people in your circles, or on the outside of your circles that are like doubting you and, oh, she can't do it, or can she do it? Or, oh my gosh, she's been through so much and what a hot mess and all the things. And, all that does is it just fueled, it fueled my fire. I was like, hold my beer, watch this. I'm going to get this done. And, we did it. And it was the most empowering thing. And ever since then, it's been, how can I help other people? How can I do this?
I love that.
Yeah.
So I guess I have to ask,
yes.
How are you doing with all the changes?
Oh God.
I'm kind of tired of asking about it, but I feel like,
how much time do we have?
I know.
Because some of these forms are changing again. There's going to be new.
I think I'm more annoyed that the forms keep changing after I get them figured out. Cause I'm good. Like I get the system. I get the process.
Exactly.
But man, can we stop with the forms?
Oh my gosh. It's nonstop. It is nonstop. And for all you people out there who are not realtors, you need to hug a realtor.
Hug a realtor.
We are not okay right now. We are not okay. And that's been probably the challenging part is just figuring out all the systems, figuring out all the forms, and and trying to still remain competent and professional to your clients.
Absolutely.
And you're like, I know we know what we're doing, but just give us a minute.
But I'm not sure on section C. Would you read that again?
So we're in a learning curve right now. Yes. I feel like there's this large learning curve that and it's not, it's other agents too. It's like we're all in the same boat, and we're all trying to just get by.
Yes, for sure.
Now, and just trying to make it and figure it out and just doing the best that we possibly can. But it sucks right now.
It does.
It sucks.
But it's going to get better.
It is.
It's going to get great.
I have, two sides to this about how I feel about NAR. And
Understood.
I know we all do. We all do. And some of those are going to remain anonymous. And however, at the end of the day, I think it's good I think it's a good shakeup for the industry.
Absolutely.
I think we needed it. I don't like this kind of gray area where it's like subject to terms of an offer of depending on how much we choose to pay you or not. Some of those things we've got to iron through and figure out.
And we will.
We will definitely, for sure. But at the end of the day, I think, it's going to be good for the industry to be totally transparent and to make sure.
And good for the community.
And I love the fact that you have to get ahead of it and make sure everybody is aware of it.
Yes.
Which, that is very important. I think it needed to happen.
For sure.
But, now we're all just trying to suffer through.
Now we still have to figure out all the paperwork.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's really just the paperwork.
It is death by paperwork.
Yes.
I have never seen so many forms.
Yes.
I mean, what do we have, like 12, 15?
I think so. They keep revising them.
They keep revising them. You're right.
It's all good. So what is next for you?
Oh my gosh, what is next for me? So that's a great question. What is next for me? Continuing to serve my clients and continue to serve my community, which I love doing. And we're going to continue. We do several events throughout the course of the year to raise money for our nonprofit.
Awesome.
And we have actually one coming up, if I can share it.
Please tell us about
it. Perfect. Yes. So we have a Women's Empowering Conference coming up September 27th. And I'm so excited about it. We're going to have 5 empowered, amazing, women CEOs from across the country flying in. And, we're going to talk about branding, building a multi-million-dollar brand. We're going to talk about growth mindsets. We're going to talk about, how to elevate, how to elevate your thinking, so you can not only elevate your life, elevate every aspect of your life, because I think one thing that working women face is the balancing of work-life balance and all the things. I think if anyone has a wonderful formula of that, let me know. I've yet to still master that.
That is
the struggle is real.
Yeah, that is my passion. As a coach, work-life harmony is what I really, really practice.
Yes.
Just because I can speak to it I've lived it as a realtor and a mom of 3. Yes, it's definitely something I've had a lot of practice at.
Yes.
So that's what I'm super passionate about as a coach. So,
I love that.
Yeah,
I do.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. And, and the struggle is real, and especially in our industry where people need you. It's not a 9 to 5.
No.
It's a, I need you when I need you job.
For sure.
And,
for sure.
No matter how much you can train your clients,
it doesn't work that way.
It just simply doesn't work that way. And, depending on the market, remember a couple years ago, oh my gosh, during the pandemic, I was working 18 hours a day. I was negotiating contracts at 1 a.m.
It's very seasonal.
It's very seasonal.
You just don't know what the seasons are going to be.
or the hours.
Yes.
Where I was meeting clients at sometimes 5 in the morning, 5:30 before work. It was insane. And, so it's, mastering the work-life balance, if there is such a thing. And just, empowering women. And so we're going to have a lot of workshops and concrete, tips and tools and all the things wrapped up in a conference. We're beyond excited. I mean, if anyone is interested and you want to attend.
Where can they buy tickets?
fmwib.com is our website. And that stands for Flower Mound Women in Business. And fmwib.com, we have all the ticket information. There's sponsorships available. But September 27th, we're going to host it at the Marriott in Flower Mound.
Awesome.
And right there on the Riverwalk. And,
beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, I know. Have you been there? Have you been to Flower Mound?
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I love it. I love that area. It's so beautiful. And, it's, we've got, let's see, one of our speakers is a CEO of a private jet company.
Oh, cool.
And so, one of my dear friends, Tia, she's amazing. She's going to speak. And we've got the mayor of Flower Mound is going to be there.
Very
exciting. She's
exciting.
going to say some words and speak. And we've just got a lot of amazing, our keynote speaker is a former CIA and FBI.
Oh, that's cool.
Informant from, for the government, and has done a lot of overseas and spy stuff. So it's going to be, really cool. So she's going to teach us some really cool tactical things that we can use in our business. That helped her from, I guess, being a spy and
that's so cool.
Right. Is it right? Isn't that crazy? And so, So,
awesome.
I hope everyone can attend. Fun.
Check it out. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. It was so fun.
I loved it.
I feel like we're going to have to meet for coffee after.
I was going to say, yes,
for
all
sure.
the things.
Yes.
All the things.
All good. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us today. If you need some tips and help gathering those forms and understanding them, or you need some help with work-life balance or harmony, you can always reach out to me for a 10-day strategy session. I'm still doing those, and you can book them at michelleozymy.com. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Yeah.